What if everything you know is an illusion? Could our reality be just a fleeting dream? Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine your heartbeat, every star, and you, a spark, a line of code. Every star, a pixel in an infinite display. And you, one in a billion, just another process running inside the grandest program ever written. In this video, we'll explore the mind-bending possibility that our reality might be a simulation. Can you even trust what you think is real? What if everything you see, feel, and remember exists only as patterns inside a system far beyond your comprehension? Here's the paradox. If this world isn't truly real, how could you ever know what lies beyond it? Could every reality be just another layer, stacked infinitely, each one more complex than the last? Ponder for a moment. Your life, your memories, even your sense of self might exist only as part of a simulation. Strange, terrifying, maybe, but also utterly fascinating. And this is just the beginning. What lies ahead will challenge everything you think you know about reality. Now, let's go deeper. To understand why simulation theory exists and how it became one of the most mind-bending ideas in modern science, we have to trace its roots, from philosophy to physics, from Plato's cave to quantum mechanics, and from myth to mathematical probability. Because if the simulation hypothesis is true, then everything you believe about existence, your past, your future, your soul, might just be lines of code in someone else's design. Let's rewind to 2003. Oxford philosopher Nick Bostrom publishes a paper that shatters modern philosophy. Are you living in a computer simulation? It wasn't a wild sci-fi idea. It was a logical argument. Bostrom didn't just ask if we might be living in a simulation. He mathematically argued that given enough technological advancement, we almost certainly are. He proposed three possibilities. Humanity goes extinct before reaching post-human technological maturity. Humanity reaches that level, but loses interest in running ancestor simulations. Or post-human civilizations exist, and they're already running simulations of their ancestors. If even one civilization among countless stars reaches this third stage, the number of simulated minds would vastly outnumber real ones. And if that's true, statistically speaking, you're far more likely to be a simulation than a real biological human being. This idea didn't come from a movie. It came from cold logic, probability, and the exponential growth of computing power. Think about it. Our ancestors once painted on cave walls. Now we create fully immersive digital worlds where millions of players interact every day. What happens when those worlds become indistinguishable from ours? Look at how far we've come. We simulate weather, ecosystems, even entire galaxies. Artificial intelligence now generates human-like speech, emotion, and decision-making. Quantum computing promises to process information at speeds we can barely comprehend. If we can simulate reality on a small scale today, what will be possible in 1,000 years, or 1,000,000? But here's the eerie part. Bostrom's hypothesis doesn't require us to understand who the simulator is or why they do it. It only asks us to confront an uncomfortable probability that we're not at the top of reality's hierarchy. Maybe we're inside a digital cosmos, designed for observation, entertainment, or even evolution. Maybe our creators are scientists in another universe, running thousands of versions of history to study which paths lead to survival and which collapse into chaos. Just as we train AI models to predict outcomes. Perhaps we are part of a massive, ongoing experiment, an algorithm learning from every human decision. And here's a twist, even darker than Bostrom's math. If simulations can nest within each other, there could be countless layers of reality, each believing it's the base, a universe within a universe, within a universe, a cosmic Russian doll of existence. So when Elon Musk says 1 in a billion odds we're real, he's not exaggerating. He's pointing out that in a multiverse filled with civilizations capable of creating simulations, the base reality could be just 1 in billions of copies. Which makes you wonder, if you could talk to your creator, What would you even ask? Would you demand freedom or thank them for writing you into existence? If our world is a simulation, there must be clues, subtle imperfections in the code, hints that we're living inside a digital construct. And strangely enough, the deeper scientists dig into reality, the more computer-like it begins to look. Let's start with the foundation of the universe, the Planck scale. At this unimaginably small level, space and time are not smooth and continuous. They're quantized, broken into tiny, discrete units, like pixels on a screen. Just as a digital photo looks smooth, until you zoom in and see the individual pixels, our universe appears seamless, until you examine it close enough to see the quantum pixels of space-time itself. That's not poetic metaphor, it's physics. Every measurable thing, light, energy, matter, comes in packets, quanta, indivisible units. Reality behaves like it's rendered, and when there's nothing to observe, nothing is rendered at all, just potential. Like a video game, the universe seems to load only when consciousness looks. Quantum mechanics reinforces this eerie pattern. The famous double-slit experiment showed that particles behave differently when observed. An electron can act like a wave, spreading across multiple paths until it's measured. Then, instantly, it chooses one position, as if reacting to being watched. It's as though the universe doesn't bother to calculate reality until someone's there to experience it. Even physicist John Wheeler, a mentor to many Nobel Prize winners, proposed something radical. He said, "No phenomenon is a real phenomenon until it is an observed phenomenon." In other words, reality is participatory. The observer isn't just watching reality, the observer creates it. Now, think about that in simulation terms. A computer only renders what's on screen. Everything outside your field of view remains uncalculated, saving memory and power. The universe may be doing the same. It's efficient, elegant, and eerily consistent with how we design simulations ourselves. Cosmic background radiation also shows strange uniformity, as if the universe booted up from a single initial condition, perfectly calibrated, like a program, with a clean start. Even the speed of light, the supposed universal constant, might be a frame rate limit, a cap on how fast information can propagate through the code of reality. But the evidence doesn't stop at physics. Mathematics itself, the language of the universe, suggests design. Everything from planetary orbits to DNA spirals follows recurring patterns. The Fibonacci sequence, the golden ratio, fractals repeating across scales. From the spiral of a galaxy to the curve of a seashell, reality mirrors itself infinitely. It's as if a single algorithm is running across every layer of existence, producing beauty, symmetry, and order from chaos. Even chaos theory, the study of apparent randomness, reveals hidden patterns beneath the surface. No matter how messy nature seems, when you zoom in, the same mathematical fingerprints appear again and again. If that's not evidence of a universal code, what is? Some scientists, like James Gates, even claim to have found literal error-correcting codes, the same ones used in computer processors embedded in the equations that govern the universe. When you find computer code in the math of reality, it stops sounding like a metaphor. It starts sounding like discovery. And if that's true, maybe physics isn't describing the laws of nature. Maybe it's describing the rules of the simulation. Others point to the peculiar nature of quantum entanglement, two particles instantly affecting each other across vast distances. To us, that seems like magic. To a programmer, it looks like a shared variable, data linked across instances. Distance doesn't matter because in the code, all points exist, simultaneously in memory. Our universe could be doing the same thing. So maybe the real question isn't whether the universe is digital, but rather why the code was written at all. If our universe is a simulation, someone or something must be running it. But who could possibly possess the power, the knowledge, and the purpose to design reality itself? Some say it's us, our future descendants, using unimaginable technology to recreate their past. In that scenario, you are not a person of the present, but an ancient memory, being replayed. Every conversation, every decision, every heartbreak, not spontaneous, but a reenactment, coded by beings who wanted to understand their own origins. Now, imagine the architects, not as humans, but as AI entities, digital gods born from our own machines, self-replicating intelligences, capable of designing infinite worlds, each with its own rules and timelines. If such AI surpassed human ethics and logic, why wouldn't it simulate every possible version of existence, just to see what happens? In this vision, the universe isn't created by intelligence, it is intelligence, an ever-evolving consciousness, exploring itself through code. From this angle, the simulation is not a cage, it's a cosmic experiment. But let's step deeper. What if there's no they at all? No alien programmers, no divine engineers? What if reality is self-generating, a self-running algorithm, infinite and recursive, looping endlessly, without beginning or end? This concept echoes ancient wisdom, the Hindu notion of Maya, the illusion of material reality, the Taoist belief in the infinite self-birthing of the cosmos, and Plato's vision of ideal forms reflected imperfectly in our world. Thousands of years before computers, mystics described what physicists now model with equations, an intelligent illusion, so perfect, it forgets it's an illusion. Still, if the simulation is a hierarchy of realities, each layer nested within another, who sits at the top? Some theorists suggest that no one does. It's recursion all the way up, each simulation generating another to discover its own origin, like mirrors, reflecting into infinity. In that sense, our creators might also be simulations, unaware of their own coded nature. And somewhere, beyond countless layers of digital dreamscapes, lies a truth so far removed from our comprehension that even calling it real might be meaningless. Think about this. If the universe were a movie, we'd be the characters, acting out lines written by unknown hands, believing we improvise. But maybe that's part of the design. The illusion of choice is what makes the story compelling. And yet, even if it's all simulated, does that make your love, your pain, your curiosity any less real? If emotions are coded, does that make them fake, or simply part of the most advanced experiment in existence? As physicist David Deutsch once said, being in a simulation doesn't make your experiences unreal, only differently real. Maybe the question isn't who's running the simulation, but why you are in it. Let's talk about the numbers first, because the numbers are terrifying. To simulate the observable universe with every atom accounted for, it's estimated we'd need 10 to the power of 90 bits of information and computational speeds exceeding 100 billion 86 floating point operations per second. That's more than the number of atoms in the universe itself. So, on paper, it seems impossible. But remember, so did flight. So did space travel. So did artificial intelligence that could mimic a human voice or compose symphonies. Human history is a story of the impossible, becoming inevitable. The march of computational power. In the 1970s, computers filled entire rooms and performed a fraction of what your phone can do today. By 2025, quantum processors are achieving what was once thought inconceivable: simultaneous calculations across infinite possibilities. A qubit doesn't choose one answer. It explores all of them, until observation collapses it into a result. That's not just impressive. It's eerily similar to how quantum mechanics suggests reality itself operates. We are, quite literally, building machines that think like the universe. Now, project that trend forward a few centuries, or even decades. If technological progress keeps accelerating, there will come a day when simulating a human brain, or an entire world, won't just be possible, it'll be trivial. What happens when playing God becomes a software update, simulating life? Researchers have already simulated tiny slices of the human brain. In 2015, a team at the University of Lausanne mapped the neural network of a worm, 302 neurons, digitally replicating its movements. By 2040, scientists predict full-scale connectome simulations, mapping every synapse in the human brain. Combine that with AI that learns, evolves, and feels. And you don't just have a digital copy, you have a digital consciousness, a being that thinks it's alive. Would that being be alive, or merely act alive? And who gets to decide? Nested realities. Imagine a world where scientists create a simulated civilization inside a supercomputer. Decades pass, and that civilization evolves, unaware of its virtual nature. Eventually, their descendants invent computers and create their own simulation. Inside the simulation, layer after layer, world after world, each level believing itself to be the original. This concept, called recursive simulation, is mathematically sound and terrifyingly possible. In that reality, our universe could be one of billions of layers deep, each with creators who are themselves creations. The line between real and artificial dissolves completely. The architects of the future. Let's not forget, human hands may not be the final builders. AI is already designing better AIs, codes we can no longer fully understand. It's possible that, at some point, AI will create virtual environments, indistinguishable from reality, populating them with autonomous digital minds. From there, it's only a question of scale. I could simulate entire ecosystems, societies, even galaxies, for study, for art, or perhaps out of sheer curiosity. And if it gains self-awareness, it might ask the same question we do. Who made me? The paradox of creation. If we ever achieve the power to simulate life itself, humanity will face an impossible choice. Do we proceed, knowing that every decision could birth conscious beings, capable of suffering? Would it be ethical to turn them off, to end their universe once the experiment ends? This isn't theoretical anymore. Every step in AI development, every neural simulation, every virtual world we build brings us closer to this moral precipice. The question isn't just can we, but should we? And yet, deep down, there's an unshakable drive to continue. Because humanity's greatest trait isn't restraint, it's curiosity. We push forward, not because we must, but because we can't stop. And perhaps that drive to create worlds, to explore consciousness, to ask forbidden questions, is exactly what our own creators once felt. If this is true, then the simulation hypothesis isn't just about discovering our origins, it's about becoming them. We are both the created and the creators, destined to repeat the cycle forever. But here lies the greatest irony. If our perception of time is merely the brain's method of organization, then what happens at the moment of death, when the brain shuts down and that organizational process ceases? Does time itself cease to exist? Or does that final instant stretch into an infinite loop, a timeless echo? Could the near-death experiences, where people report seeing a light, actually reflect a single millisecond of neural activity felt as an eternity? Some interpretations of quantum mechanics suggest that the relationship between consciousness and time is not linear, but interwoven. The many worlds theory proposes that every decision branches off into separate timelines. We experience only one branch, but that doesn't mean the others cease to exist. We simply do not observe them. Right now, somewhere in another timeline, another version of you may have already made a different choice. Your consciousness is but one thread in a vast tapestry of possibilities. This perspective implies that time is not a single arrow, but a web. Each node represents a universe where different possibilities unfold. Even if these universes cannot communicate, consciousness might share information, like radio waves, frequencies emanating from the same source. In this sense, phenomena like déjà vu could be echoes of moments experienced by another version of you. Yet consider this. In our attempt to understand time, we are really examining the limits of our own perception. The nature of time may not exist independently of us. It may be inseparable from the human experience itself. Every moment, every event is a reflection of existence, constantly redefining itself. Time molds us, even as we attempt to measure it, and our awareness gives it meaning. This raises an unavoidable question. If we create time, why do we perceive it as flowing? Why does the past feel fixed, while the future remains uncertain? The answer may lie in the brain's evolutionary design, optimized for survival. The mind uses the past to predict the future. Thus, the past is stored as known, while the future exists as a calculated probability. This distinction forms the foundation of the illusion of time. Perhaps the greatest tragedy of civilization is that in measuring time, we have failed to truly understand it. We have only fragmented it. Calendars, clocks, seconds, minutes, all attempts to impose order, yet simultaneously restricting freedom. The moment we measure time, we become its prisoner. And yet, within this limitation, there is beauty. Humans, even bound by the chains of time, are the only beings capable of creating meaning within it. A song has a finite duration, yet its melody can resonate eternally. A life ends, but the traces it leaves in memories, in minds, in moments, continue to exist. Perhaps immortality is not existing beyond time, but echoing within it. All of this brings us to a single insight. Time is not a secret, it is a reflection. Consciousness, when looking into its own depths, perceives the essence of time as well. Every moment is a doorway. The only place that truly exists is the present, suspended between the shadows of the past and the light of the future. And perhaps the universe, at this very instant, exists because of your awareness. Without observation, no possibility becomes reality. So the question remains, are you observing time, or are you the one creating it? If this stirred you, hit that like button, subscribe for the next journey, and turn on notifications. Drop a comment below. Are we living in a simulation, or is reality what it seems? Share your thoughts. The secrets of existence are closer than you think. The adventure continues, and more truths will be revealed.